Diesel trucking has a hard deadline approaching. By 2032, new EPA rules will require 40% of all new Class 8 trucks to be zero emission. Right now, fleet operators are caught in a difficult position. On one side, there is the threat of regulatory obsolescence, forcing you to abandon functional assets. On the other, the persistent anxiety that electric trucks simply won't have the range to complete your routes without leaving drivers stranded. The Tesla Semi Gen 2 bypasses the environmental debate entirely. Its actual target is ruthless financial efficiency. Surviving the next decade in the logistics industry means recalculating the underlying math of your operations. To understand that math, we have to look at the single metric that dictates whether a fleet lives or dies: cost per mile, or CPM. This chart compares daily operational costs. The average cost per mile for a Class 8 diesel truck is $2.15. The Gen 2 electric semi drops to $1.18. That's a 97-cent difference per mile. Over a 100,000-mile year, that's $97,000 in annual savings per truck. But to access those operational savings, you have to absorb a staggering upfront capital expenditure to actually acquire the truck and build the charging infrastructure. Adopting this truck requires a shift in how a logistics company handles its capital and cash flow. Let's look at the upfront cost. The estimated base price of the Gen 2 truck lands between $200,000 and $250,000. That is significantly higher than a comparable diesel cab. Making this financially viable requires utilizing the IRC 45W Commercial Clean Vehicle Credit, which immediately offsets $40,000 of that premium. Then you stack state-level incentives. In places like California, HVIP vouchers can push those subsidies into the six-figure range. On top of the direct discounts, accelerated depreciation schedules, known as MACRs, allow fleets to write off a large portion of the asset's value, providing major tax relief in the very first year of ownership. While the initial purchase price drops through subsidies, the baseline cost of running a diesel truck is climbing, driven upward by the rising prices of diesel exhaust fluid and impending carbon taxes. The high sticker price is a temporary barrier. If you properly utilize the federal and state financial engineering tools available right now, you can achieve cash flow parity in the near term. Buying the trucks is only half the equation. Keeping them running requires an overhaul of your fleet depot. A Tesla megacharger pushes 1.2 megawatts of power. That is the raw output needed to charge a Class 8 battery from 10 to 80% in 30 minutes. This chart maps electrical grid draw against utility cost rates. If multiple 1.2 megawatt trucks plug in at the exact same time, your facility gets hit with crippling utility peak demand charges. To solve this, depots have to integrate battery buffers, like Tesla Megapacks. You store cheaper power during off-peak hours and use those batteries to smooth out the intense grid draw when the trucks arrive and plug in. Establishing this local microgrid locks your energy cost at roughly 35 cents per mile. Your fleet becomes insulated from global oil market volatility. To actually reap the rewards of the Gen 2, transport companies have to evolve from simply moving freight to actively managing a local energy system. Early electric commercial vehicles faced a severe physical compromise. Heavy battery packs ate directly into legal payload capacity. Tesla engineers approached this differently. The Gen 2 framework physically fuses the interior chassis with the outer metal casing of the battery. By making the 4680 battery cells a load-bearing structural component, they dropped the total vehicle weight by 1,500 pounds. That weight reduction allows the truck to maintain an 82,000-pound gross combination weight rating while confirming a 650-mile range fully loaded. This engineering choice removes the physical barrier, allowing electric trucks to achieve true payload parity with diesel freight. We don't have to rely on factory specifications to verify this. 18 months of real-world pilot testing data from major beverage distributors is already available. The data shows the removal of the routine maintenance cycle required by diesel engines. No DPF filter to clean, no DEF fluid to buy, and no engine oil to change. Even the friction brakes get a break. Because regenerative braking handles the kinetic load of stopping, the physical brake pads last 50% longer. Earlier, we saw how fuel savings alone net $8,000 a month. When you add the elimination of transmission rebuilds and the reduction in mechanical downtime, real-world data from PepsiCo shows a total monthly savings of $15,000 per truck. Eliminating these mechanical failure points cuts parts costs and prevents the shop downtime that normally pulls a truck out of rotation and stops revenue. This flowchart breaks down the ideal operational profile. If you operate a hub-and-spoke regional fleet with daily routes under 600 miles and you own your depot facility, you are the prime candidate. Predictable daily routes with guaranteed returns to a central charging hub are the match for the Gen 2 ecosystem, resulting in high ROI and making it ripe for immediate adoption. But if you are an independent over-the-road operator relying on team driving to clear 1,000 miles a day, the math changes. You are suddenly reliant on a public charging network. Right now, the lack of a ubiquitous, nationwide public megacharger network creates unacceptable downtime. For long-haul operators without dedicated infrastructure, those charging delays directly kill revenue. Legacy logistics giants with massive owned depots will use this technology to widen their profit margins, while undercapitalized independents will struggle to keep up with the initial infrastructure costs. The Tesla Semi Gen 2 is a highly effective logistics tool, but today it is strictly reserved for the fleets that have the capital and the real estate to buy into its enclosed ecosystem.